around 100 mosques across England will use their sermons today to encourage Muslims to take up the vaccine. It's being organised by Imam Qari Asim, who's chair of the Mosques and Imams National Advisory Board, and is himself about to give his sermon on this. Thank you for joining us, sir. What kind of stuff are people reading to put them off taking the vaccine?
We know that Black, Asian and minority ethnic communities have been disproportionately affected, during this pandemic. But also at the same time, we have noticed that there is misinformation, myths and fake news that's in circulation. And the misinformation includes people saying that effectively if someone gets vaccinated, then they will be tagged, or that it is going to result in genetic modification, a DNA modification, or that effectively taking the vaccine is going to harm them in some ways. And so we all have to play our role in debunking these myths, and Mosques and Imams National Advisory Board has launched this initiative nationwide where in the next couple of weeks, during Friday sermons, Imams will be debunking these myths, addressing the rumours and misinformation that is in circulation.
So you're going to tell them, look, there is no alcohol in it. There's no animal products in it.
Yeah, I think the skepticism and anxiety is driven by two factors. Firstly, they are understandable questions whether or not these vaccines that are being used in the UK, whether they contain any gelatin or alcohol or any human embryo or cells or animal products. And Muslim scholars and medical experts have looked into this, and we are confident that none of the vaccines that are being used in the UK, they have any animal product, gelatin or alcohol, and therefore these vaccines are permissible in Islam, they are halal. And actually, Minab is running a campaign where we are videoing some of the imams who are taking these vaccines. We hope that this will reassure the communities and also inspire confidence that if a religious leader is taking these vaccines, then surely they must be permissible in Islam, and they are not going to result in anyone being tagged or genetically modified.
Listen, this is all too serious and important to indulge in hypotheticals, but can I ask you, if there was some gelatin in it and that was the only way you could make this particular vaccine, that'd be a harder sell then. I mean, what on earth would you do then? Or is that not something you've even considered?
No, absolutely, we have considered. Islam is a religion that provides solutions. So therefore, even if it did contain any impermissible ingredients like alcohol or gelatin, then we already have a precedent where the transformation of a particular product takes place during the process. Then it is no longer, it's no longer haram. It's no longer impermissible. But here we are very lucky that we already have an option. But if there wasn't, let's say hypothetically speaking, if there wasn't a purely permissible option, even then, to save lives, Islam allows one to take medication. And so this is what Minab is urging. Imams across the country are saying that, it is our ethical duty, it is our moral obligation to save ourselves from harm and also potentially save lives.
So you will frame your sermon in terms of, look, factually, this is wrong, what you're reading, so go out and get the vaccine. Or will you, so more like factual terms, or will you frame it, will you give it a sort of a theological frame?
I think so. Firstly, we'll start off with a theological framework, that how important it is to protect lives in Islam, and secondly, then address some of the legitimate concerns, whether or not the vaccines contain any animal products or human cells and gelatin or alcohol. And so we'll address the factual information about the vaccines. And then thirdly, we will tackle misinformation. And my message is very clear that, verify the information before you amplify. Misinformation could result in lives being lost. And in this pandemic, a lot of communities have been affected, and in particular Muslim communities, BAME communities have been disproportionately affected, and it is our moral obligation to save ourselves as well as others. So if a young person or a physically fit person feels that they don't necessarily need to take the vaccine, obviously, they're not in that category yet. But if they ever felt like that, even then we will consider, please do consider the other members of the household or the other communities and members in society, because by potentially you not taking the vaccine, you could cause harm to others as well.
You don't sound old enough to qualify. I don't know how old you are, sir, but it's a shame. If that being the case, it's a shame you can't be sort of ceremonially vaccinated during the sermon.
No, that's right. I'm not in that category yet. But there have been imams who have been videoed whilst being vaccinated, and also this is message. This is imperative. It's a serious stuff that's costing lives, and we all have to play our role in defeating this pandemic, and we can only do so if we tackle it together and also tackle some of the misinformation and rumours that are in circulation.
Thank you very much indeed. Nice talking.
Thank you, Adrian.
All the
Thank
best.
you.
That's Imam Qari Asim.